At the beginning of the film, we observe a man who works as a security guard in a morgue. Angel notices something that scares him a lot, after which he runs out of the building. The man panics and runs out onto the road, where he is hit by a car. The action is transferred to the main character. Jaime receives a call from the police department, where he is summoned about what happened on the road. He arrives at the hospital, where his partner tells him that Angel has fallen into a coma. His behavior on the road seems strange, and the footprints in the woods indicate that he was running from something. But what could have scared the morgue guard at the medical school so badly? To find out, the man goes there. It turns out that Angel has been working at the morgue for 3 years and has never escaped from his post before. Today, shortly before the accident, the man receives a phone call. One of Jaime's assistants thinks Angel might have been startled by someone's silly joke. The man discovers that the remains of one Micah, who supposedly died of a heart attack, are missing. The autopsy was conducted by none other than Dr. Tapia. Jaime notices that a video camera was located across from the vault. Agent Norma checks the footage and says that the video camera has been switched off. The man asks his staff to cordon off the building and the woods. Afterwards, Jaime looks into the missing woman's case file. It turns out that Micah was married to the director of a large pharmaceutical company, and she was also the owner. The woman has 2 sisters, who after the tragedy began to revisit the wedding video of Micah and Alex. The man himself is very homesick and doesn't even want to get out of bed. It was Alex who found his wife when she died. However, once Micah's sisters leave home, the man stops grieving. Alex gets on his motorbike and goes to a strange place. Unable to tolerate the growing passion, the man meets his young student, Carla Miller. The girl offers a drink, however she looks a little depressed and confused. Alex receives a call from the morgue and learns that his wife has somehow miraculously disappeared. The man is distraught, for he has done everything right. Alex hopes that it is a simple misunderstanding. The man arrives at the institute and talks to Jaime. The man believes that some of Micah's ill-wishers might have wished to harm her even after her death. Alex denies this possibility because his wife was adored by everyone. Jaime finds it suspicious that they called the man's home phone, but he was not in the house. Alex lies that he went out to the pharmacy to get some medicine. Soon, Jaime comes out to have a chat with Dr. Tapia. Taking advantage of this moment, Alex calls his mistress. The man asks Carla to sneak into the hospital, where a security guard is located. The girl has to find out exactly what Angel saw. The man returns to his office and offers to talk to the doctor. Tapia thinks that Micah's recent flight might have caused unfortunate consequences. The woman has a private conversation with Jaime. Tapia says that an effect similar to a heart attack can be induced by stress, as well as certain substances. Perhaps someone stole Micah's remains to cover up that she died because of these causes. Jaime is alarmed that Alex calmly talks about his wife in the past time. Jaime himself also lost his spouse many years ago, but still sometimes speaks of her as a living person. He talks to the doctor and reports that he hasn't had alcohol in 7 months. Alex is angry that he has been kept home for so long. Suddenly, the lights go out in the clinic. The man wanders around the clinic and sees a strange box. Alex opens it and finds strange objects. In one of the drawers, the man also discovers a strange vial with a substance called TH16, produced by his company. Alex remembers how, upon his wife's arrival, he added this substance to a glass of wine. The man brings Micah a drink, knowing that it will lead to her death. The woman asks Alex to stay home with her, and jokingly even fires him. Micah is about to book a table for the evening, not knowing that the poison is already slowly seeping into her blood vessels. Alex is reminded of this when suddenly the lights come on. The detectives appear in the room and examine a box of items. Jaime reports that Micah's phone is missing, even though it should have been in the box. The man asks Alex to empty his pockets and searches him rather aggressively. When a vial of TH16 is discovered, the man claims he just picked it up. Jaime finds it suspicious that it is Alex's factory that created the substance. The man gets a call from Carla to break the news. Carla tells him that the guard is still unconscious. Alex asks to continue observing and tells him that the vial he used is suddenly in his wife's cell for some reason. Soon, the man receives a message right on the windowsill in the loo. Alex realizes that in front of him is a dinner invitation that his spouse once gave him. It was on that day that Micah began to suspect that her spouse has a mistress, but he doesn't know about it. Upon receiving the envelope, Alex becomes even more frightened and confused. The man tears it up and throws the note into the toilet. However, due to the toilet not working, Alex has to retrieve the scraps from the water and eat them. Soon the man is invited into the security office. Jaime tells him that someone has broken into the ventilation system and thus was able to get onto the roof and then leave the building. One of the man's agents finds the kidnapper's trail. In addition, Jaime sees that someone has changed the date on the clock to the 20th of March. Alex recalls that this was the day he met his mistress. Micah knew about the code change, but the man lied to her that they had a quarrel that day, and he decided to remember it. Jaime continues to question the man in the lift when suddenly the alarm goes off. Alex manages to break away from the detectives in the corridor, after which he communicates with his mistress. The man tells Carla that his wife seems to be alive, and is playing strange games with him. The end of Alex's conversation is heard by a man. Jaime takes the man's phone away from him, but he manages to erase all incoming and outgoing calls. It also turns out that TH16 is a severe toxin that can cause cardiac arrest. Jaime makes the decision to take the suspect to the station. Alex is locked up in a lab for the time being. In one of the black bags, the man finds a mobile phone from which Micah calls. However, Alex hears only silence in the receiver. The man checks the tag and realizes that the phone has been planted on a certain Javier. Alex decides to call back. It turns out that the waitress found the phone in her establishment in the evening. Someone had forgotten it. The man guesses that the restaurant is Arabesco. It was there that Alex had dinner with his wife before she flew off on a business trip. During the dinner, Micah stepped away to have a conversation with some man. Upon returning, the woman states that this is her lawyer, with whom she has been discussing the division of assets. Micah then laughs and clarifies that this is her psychologist. Alex comes to his senses and realizes that he really needs to find out who Javier is. Using his new phone, the man calls Carla and asks her to find out all the facts about Javier. Meanwhile, the man goes outside and remembers the terrible loss of his wife in an accident that happened many years ago on the same rainy night. Jaime comes to his senses and takes the suspect to the department, where he begins his interrogation. He finds it strange that Alex, a poor teacher, met his wife just when she was the heiress to a large fortune and was also single. Jaime finds it suspicious that the man talks so serenely about losing Micah. He asks where Alex went when they came to pick him up. The man lies that he went to get his medication, and Jaime asks to see it. The man also reveals that Micah hired a detective 3 months ago to follow her husband. In case of infidelity, Micah could have stripped the man of everything. It also turns out that the detective's name was Javier. In the bathroom, the man calls Carla and discovers that the planted flash drive not only shows the lovers, but can be heard discussing Micah's death. Carla is about to leave for safety, but the connection is suddenly cut. Alex is sure that his wife has decided to torture them and force a confession. Frightened for Carla, the man asks the police officers to go to her house. Alex confesses to the connection with the girl, as well as the fact that she didn't want to be with him while he was married. The man decides not to get a divorce, but to take Micah out, so his wife won't take everything away from him. Alex realizes that the wife found out the truth from the detective and may have taken a neuroleptic to fake death. Jaime doesn't believe the man, especially after the morgue guard regains consciousness and tells him that he was attacked by a masked man. He believes Alex massacred his wife and stole her body. This is soon confirmed when they find Micah's body in the woods. Jaime also says that there is no Carla, because she is not on the student or volunteer lists, and the flat where she supposedly lived is empty. Alex decides to attempt an escape, but the detective catches up with him in the woods. Jaime talks to the man and tells him that today is 10 years since he lost his wife. There was a car accident in which the woman was badly injured. If those who hit Jaime's car had called an ambulance, she would be alive. However, the perpetrators got away. After a while, the detective's daughter remembered the license plate number. Jaime spent a long time studying the possible options and realized that Alex was driving it. At that time, he had just met Micah. They had been drinking and decided to go for a little drive. Because of their recklessness, Jaime lost the woman he loved. In addition, the detective shows Alex a photo of his daughter. The man is horrified to realize that this is his young mistress. It turns out that Carla, or rather Eva, together with her father, has been planning an elaborate revenge for many years. It was she who gave Alex the idea of getting rid of his wife. Carla lied to the man every day, hating him. In fact, it was Jaime who stole Micah. His daughter, on the other hand, planted evidence on Alex and also scared him with notes and other things. Initially, Eva doubted that she saw the license plate number correctly. The girl initially wormed her way into Alex's confidence to get him to talk. And once in bed, the man confessed to the shocking act. Jaime says that's when they started playing Alex from then on. The detective believes there is a price to pay for everything. Jaime reveals that Alex will soon be reunited with his wife because Eva put the same toxin in his glass. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.